Hey everybody, now that you got everything loaded, I'm going to show you how to use your InstaGlam system. And in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use the main actions to instantly apply your effects. So I've got a file here, and I've got a text layer, Glam. And if you look at your main actions, you already loaded up your actions, and you'll look here for the InstaGlam Smarter and Faster. And using these InstaGlam actions is actually just the same as before, but it's just a little bit sleeker, smarter, faster, and easier. So I've whittled it down so that it's just more slick and easy. So you've got your InstaGlam actions, you've got your Paint InstaGlam actions, you've got InstaGlam No Folder, which is exactly like InstaGlam, except it doesn't bundle your layers into a folder. And this action allows our Photoshop Elements users to use InstaGlam because they can't have their layers in folders. And the same thing, the Paint InstaGlam action, no folder action, that is exactly the same as the Paint InstaGlam action, but does not make a folder so that Photoshop Elements users can use them. Or if you're a Photoshop user and you just prefer not to have your layers bundled up into a folder, then you can use that as well. So all I'm going to do is select my InstaGlam action. I've got my layer selected, and I'm going to press play. And it turns it gold immediately and adds the effects, and it's really cool. But not only that, you open up that folder, and you've got some handy layer groups here. So I've got my original text layer, and I can change that text, of course, at any time, and just type in something else, whatever you want. But I'll just leave it as Glam. But you see it's totally editable, so it's really nice. So I've got that. And as before, you've got a green layer, and this is your layer where your, oh, by default, just so you know, there is, the gold is on. So this is, I'll pull this out here. And here I've got my gold InstaGlam pattern. And so this is on by default because most of the time, a lot of the times when people are using these InstaGlam actions, they like to use it with gold. So this layer is at normal, it's green. These two green layers are controlling the patterns, but, well, they're just separate. But anyway, so I've got the gold on right now, and I can just double click into this pattern fill layer, and I can just go through and and it toggles all my different patterns, and I can just go through the effects and see which one I like and put them on. And it's just super easy. But say I want this in color. Well, all I have to do is turn off that top green layer, and now I've got my color options, and it's easily marked by the dot. It says color, and this one says gold. And so here you've got your color, here you've got your pattern layer, and you can just go through here and flip through and change your different, experiment with the different patterns that come with it. So I'll click OK, and here I can change my color. So that's really easy. You can make it anything you like, or you can turn off this color layer and you can see the color that you originally used it on. So in this case, it was a pink. So that's going to be helpful later, and I'll show you how. But it's really easy. Basically, I just condensed that layer group, cut out some superfluous layers, and I just wanted to make everything really sleek and easy to use. And say, for example, you want something in silver, all you have to do is turn the color layer on, double click on that, you just put it in black, and then any of those are in silver. So I was just cutting down before I had a silver adjustment layer, but this is just cutting down and making everything simpler and easier. And another thing that I'm going to show you is the iridescent overlays, which is really cool. And I'm going to put it on a different thing here. I'll put it on the leopard. And I've got it on silver. And you might notice this is new. This is the iridescent option. And I'm going to turn this on, and that's going to give it a really cool little iridescent overlay, which is fun to play with and experiment with. And it's just really neat. And this is something that was originally in my Creative Couture. So if you want, you can double click on it, and I have a whole section of iridescent overlays. So you can go through here and play with the different iridescent overlays, and I have all different ones to choose from. And by default, they're at a 50% scale, but you can change that and make it 100. That's just the size of it, size it up or down. And then also by default, it's on overlay at a 50% opacity. But and that's a nice general one, but you can play with that. You could even play with the blend mode, change it to color, um, or also change the opacity if you want it more intense or less intense. But with the metallics, this is something cool that's kind of cool to play with, and then play with the different patterns that you have with it. So it's really fun, and I had originally made this to go with the Creative Couture collection, but I thought, hey, I bet a lot of the InstaGlam users would have fun playing with this. So that's just another option that's super fun. And then as always, you've got this brightness and contrast layer that you can uh, adjust to make the color more intense or darker or whatever you like. So that's kind of that in a nutshell. So I kind of went into it in detail, but you see it's just very easy. And everything is really the same. I just changed, if you want to know what I did different because I did an update, I made the golds a little bit better, and I changed the layers and kind of my blending options so that your colors are more true and vibrant. So that's what's different with the update, as well as minimizing the amount of layers that I used. So I hope you appreciate that. But really it's just as simple as taking your layer, whether it's a text layer, a raster layer, or a shape layer, and just clicking play. And then you've got that there. Turn off the gold option if you want color. You can even turn off that color to show the original color below. And that's really handy and something that was not in my previous workflow. And I'm going to show you why actually. So I've got a little layer here, and I'll just expand this so you can see it a little bit better. But it's like a little floral arrangement, maybe something you pasted from Illustrator. Well, I can take that, and this is where the smarter comes in. So I can take that, and I've got InstaGlam. I'll just press play. Okay, it turned to gold. Well, what's different here? Well, I can turn off the gold, and then I've got the color, but say I want to turn off that color option. Well, how cool is that? So this new arrangement allows you to use the colors that were originally on it, and so that way I could just I can pull in a little arrangement or something like that from Illustrator and InstaGlam it all together. So it's really cool. And then I just double click on my pattern layer, and then I can go through here. And how fun and cool is that? So I could just flip through and just try all the different options out on this thing and use the colors that were already there. So that's really fun. But it does have this color one in case, say, maybe it's a raster layer that you're not really particularly fond of the color. Well, you've got your color control. But this is super handy, this new improvement for working with some little arrangements that perhaps you pulled in from Illustrator or some stock art. Well, hey, I don't have to just drag them in individually to color them. I can drag them all in together. And this does have some, limitations, like if you're working with something that's very complicated or all the colors are touching, it might not look that great. But just in general, it's just an absolute wonderful workflow enhancer. So I'm always trying to make my products better and smarter, and this is just a way to make it so effortless for you to produce these kind of effects in Photoshop. And this could be just some clip art that you dragged in or whatever, but super easy, super fun. So that's the InstaGlam action. And I'll show you the same thing of, let's just delete this, get my layer back again here. I'll show you, for example, how the Paint InstaGlam is different, and this will be for the Photoshop Elements users, or the InstaGlam, no folder. So I'll just press play, and what this does is this created all the same layers, but it didn't group them in a folder. So that way, if you're perhaps using Photoshop Elements, you can have all the power of InstaGlam in your program. So the other main action that I will show you is Paint InstaGlam. And this is InstaGlam you run on a layer that's visible, that's not locked, that you already have, that you want to glam. But Paint InstaGlam, you can just press play, and that just sets you up a workspace. You open that up, and you've got a red layer, so easily marked, paint on this layer. So I can take one of my brushes and paint on that layer, and it's got the gold already applied. I can just, and everything else is the same. Double click on the gold option. You can flip through here, check out the different effects. You could probably see this one this calligraphy one a little bit better on black. I'll just do that. Absolutely bright and brilliant. Got some confetti here. You could do some paillettes. Let's see here, confetti gun. And just like the regular InstaGlam, go through the gold, try the different ones. If you want it in gold, if you don't want it in gold, turn it off. There you've got your color pattern. Just double click through there and you can try all those different ones out, and you can change the color, of course, just like any other InstaGlam. So everything is just so easy, so effortless, and basically my improvements came from my last last version of it. Is what's improved is the way that I did the layers. I made the golds more brilliant and I made the colors more true. So this new system, for one, uses less layers, and then it also improves the quality of your work. So that is just how easy it is to use that Paint InstaGlam action. And I'll just show you again this Paint InstaGlam action with no folder. So I can just press play, and that just created all those layers for me without putting them in a folder. So I could just press play, paint on that red layer, and it's easy as pie. So that is using this new improved InstaGlam actions, and then this is the main system. So in the next video, I'll show you how to use the Smart Styles for really fast and easy workflow as well. And I've created these two workflows for you that just do all the work for you, and you can choose which manner you like to work in. So check out the next video on working with the styles.